Welcome to Golf Business Live, powered by Club Caddie. Here's NGCOA CEO Jay Caron, and owner of Augusta Ranch Golf Club and secretary of the PGA of America, Don Ray.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jay Caron, CEO of the National Golf Course Owners Association, coming to you live from our headquarters in Charleston, South Carolina. Welcome to Golf Business Live, the May 2021 version. Taylor, I got to tell you, we got to use different videos. Man, that beard that I was sporting there, I was looking like Father Christmas. You know, I think it's time to go back in time a little bit and start using some of the beards that look more like what it looks like today. So take that note. My friend Don Ray, owner of Augusta Ranch Golf Course in Mesa, Arizona, and secretary of the PGA of America. Don, where are you today? I
am in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship right here at Southern Hills Golf Course. I'll give you a little look of it. That's the 18th tower right there. They let me use a room here just for our show. I mean, my how a year changes everything, Jay Caron. Oh my goodness.
Yes, yeah. We celebrated our 1-year anniversary of the show last month, and it's just amazing. Who would have predicted a lot of things? We're going to talk about the PGA Championship. You know, who would have predicted where the hell we are today versus 1 year ago? I'm grateful for so much, but we're in a good spot. You know, first thing, quick thank you to our friends at Club Caddie for sponsoring this episode of Golf Business Live. We appreciate you and your support. Jason and team at Club Caddie, thank you. You know, Don, it was great seeing you last week at NGCOA here in the Charleston market at the championship. So talk to me, Don. Give me the rest of the story of how your week went as, you know, your first PGA championship as secretary of the PGA of America.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of meetings. There's a lot of work. You know, I obviously had some friends and family down. They got to enjoy the tournament, but certainly as an officer of the PGA, you are meeting with everybody when it comes to sponsors, our own board, logistics of the tournament itself. I mean, you're meeting with Kerry Haig, you're having dinners with the rules committee. I mean, it's truly amazing, you know, and then for it to culminate with the Phil Mickelson victory and to kind of just see that mass of people running towards the putting green, you know, and how excited they were. It certainly was a memory I will never forget.
You know, a lot of meetings, it sounds like, but you had some other responsibilities. Yeah. Hey, Taylor, why don't you roll the clip a little bit and see what else Don Ray was doing?
Hey, the seventh hole, the first round is what turned Phil's tournament around. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 103rd PGA Championship. This is the 2:40 starting time. Now on the tee, please welcome from Rancho Santa Fe, California, our 2005 PGA champion, Phil Mickelson.
Wow, look at that. You've got a voice for that. Nice work.
Oh, well, you know, that is a lot of fun. I have to admit, being on the first tee and, you know, and the amount of people, you know, who texted me when they saw, you know, they did throw a graphic on when I introduced the first group of 220, but, you know, that I was from Augusta Ranch Golf Club. I know everybody at Augusta Ranch is like, that's our guy, man. You know, everybody in the Scratch Pub and Grill, we're all excited. But, yeah, it's cool. You know, I'm not going to lie. There's meetings, but, you know, there is a really cool side of this position that I have that is really kind of blowing my mind of, hey man, God is good. That's all I know.
You know, I got to ask you a question about that because, you know, I didn't know, maybe it just had blocked out of my memory, that you also have announcers on the 9th and 18th greens as the groups are coming up, they get introduced and there's applause. How do the players, you know, it makes sense on the first tee. You know, how do the players feel about the reintroduction, you know, on the course during the tournament like that?
Well, you know, I think, you know, especially for this championship, right? We didn't have standard bearers. We're trying to keep a certain amount of people out of inside the ropes. So, but we've always done it on the 9th and 18th. I did it when I was on the board of directors. To be quite honest with you, Jay, it's really cool as a board member because you're interacting with the crowd, you know, in between groups. And so they're asking who you are. You're telling them you're a PGA board of directors and that you work at a golf course, that you pull out carts and you do whatever it takes to run a golf course. So I think it's twofold, actually. It's one, certainly recognizing, you know, the players that are coming onto that tee so that sometimes, you know, not all the patrons know every single face. I mean, some are, you know who they are and some you don't. But it shows, just as PGA members, that's what we do. We run tournaments, and then also I think shows some respect to the players and lets the fans know who's coming up. It's kind of a cool thing, really.
That's a practical thing. Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. I gotta admit, that my statue here is I don't have a lanyard and a badge because it was all digital ticketing, So I'm like, that was the souvenirs when you got the badge to hang, and it's like the PGA has gone progressive and digital. How did it work out?
Well, I think it worked out pretty well. I mean, I don't know if that's forever, right? There were still some credentials like my family got that were printed out, and you're right. I mean, those are mementos. I still have the one when I went to the Super Bowl, whatever, 6-7 years ago. So I don't know where they're going with that, but I agree with you. You buy that little holder for your ticket and you slide it in there and you keep that ticket forever. Those are cool things. Or even if it's, the credential of getting in. I know that when you get on the board and you get that AA pass and this lanyard, it's the golden ticket to be able to go wherever you want to go inside the ropes. And, certainly we're all COVID tested here. We had to do for the PGA Championship too, but I think we'll go back to some printed tickets. This was just easier with COVID. Remember, when we're setting up the logistics of running a major championship and building a small city on a little island, months in advance before we knew it was going to happen, thank God that on Friday, before the event is when they said no more masks, if you're outside. And so that allowed us the ability not to have to be some mean policeman during the event. We could let people make that decision on their own or how they felt, if they ever vaccinated.
Interesting. Yeah, we like the old mementos. You and I are guys that probably read newspapers in the morning as well, like actual newspapers. The world is changing, but it was really great, actually. I enjoyed the digital ticket experience. It was good. It was interesting. So, we're going to have Matt Corey, the Chief Marketing Officer for the PGA Tour, on our show to talk about Make Golf Your Thing here in a few minutes. But I just want to check in real quickly. How are things in Mesa at the course? Anything, play robust? You're a golf course owner, audience of golf course owners. What, you're not there very often, but what is the report from Mesa at the golf operation?
Well, we still got 5 PGA professionals running the place, so I'm comfortable there. Andrea Ryan's running our Scratch Pub and Grill. She's done a magnificent job. Yeah, we're still busy. Certainly it's heating up. We're getting well over 100 every day now, but the reports I'm getting back from Augusta Ranch is that things are going great. Golf is still booming. And like I told you last time, we are really focusing on our golf professionals picking up the baskets on the range. We just realized that it's time to start a conversation with those on the driving range. That regular might be buying that bucket of balls in your shop, but he's taking it out to the range, and then his family's there, his wife's there, his buddies there that have never played before. They're maybe too uncomfortable to come in the shop. He buys the balls, but then you go out there and you see there's actually 3 or 4 of them. So we're really trying to make a concerted effort at Augusta Ranch that our teaching staff picks up the range baskets so that we can start conversations with people who are learning how to play golf.
That's great. I really like that. You want to be where they are, right? That's fantastic. Well, cool. Hey, a reminder to the audience that, when we have our discussion here, submit your questions in the comments area of your chosen channel, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, and we'll try to get to some of those before our time is up. Quick little housekeeping on some NGCOA and industry stuff. Just a reminder that Women's Golf Day is coming up on June 1st. And there were like over 900 courses registered from what I saw the other day on the website. So if you're a golf course and you want to get on the bandwagon and be part of Women's Golf Day, go to their website and sign up. And I did see Alyssa was at the yesterday, the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange with Callaway and Top Golf there. So that was pretty awesome to see golf up there, in that way, and all the women that they chose to be up there, front and center, ringing that bell. That was pretty great. Did you see that?
I did. She's awesome. Obviously we've had her on our show, and she is just a tireless promoter of women's golf, and God bless her, because it's taken a while for her to get to where she's at, but now that she's starting to get that national recognition. So I hope every golf course, Jay, has signed up for Women's Golf Day on June 1.
Yeah. And speaking of golf in the spotlight, we had National Golf Day just a few weeks ago, and it was all virtual this year for obvious reasons, but I got to say, it went really well. We had some meaningful discussions with our senators and congressmen about our agenda, golf's agenda, and I felt like we made some nice headway on the FIT Act and even the SIN list. We are getting traction on the SIN list for the first real traction in that we've got some legislators saying, put my name on that. I will help with that. So that's really good to see. It was always kind of a back room kind of, I can't believe that this thing exists, but you leave the back room and it's hard to get a member of Congress to put their name on something that looks like golf is getting a favor of some kind when all we're asking to do is be treated like any other kind of business when it comes to economic stimulus or disaster relief legislation. So felt like we made real good progress. So it was an efficient way to see a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I did 5 meetings, from Augusta Ranch virtually, and I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. I mean, I think some might say right now, all right, back to golf happened and golf is booming, let's just lay low. That would be a big mistake, in my opinion. These legislators now understand back to golf. They understand the mental health side of golf, obviously the social distancing that we invented. So these things are happening. So right now, if you ask your legislator or maybe someone on your city council, come out to your golf course, speak at an event, or just attend one of your social functions, I think you might be surprised. I think they would attend. So if I'm you and you're at any type of facility, high end or low end, I would be reaching out to my legislators, reaching out to my city councilmen, talking about the FIT Act. That's amazing. Look it up if you don't know what we're talking about. PHIT, FIT Act, the H-2P visas. Once again, it's still, even when those don't, we still didn't get all of them. They opened up a couple more, but at the end of the day, they're dipping into my labor pool, Jay. And we know how the labor pool is very sensitive right now. So I found them to be listening and leaning in. That's a new word right now in business, right? Let's lean in. Certainly saw them physically lean in to the conversations we were having about the goodness of golf and how we are the engine of good, right? I mean, we really are.
Great. Yeah, I feel the same way. So that's good stuff. Something that came up on my radar screen in the NGCOA universe this week was a discussion the last couple of days on Accelerate, which, for the folks at home, is our kind of private online channel where the NGCOA members talk to each other, help problem solve and share ideas. And one of our great members in Pennsylvania brought up the topic of coupon books. And he's like, do these things really exist today? Why would any golf course be in that lung book or that whatever that local coupon book is, the old the old entertainment book for a lot of us my age as kids, the coupons to all these local businesses, and I gotta say, with the increase in demand in golf, the last 18 months or 12 months or so, it really makes me wonder, why would golf courses still participate in anything like that is primarily what they're doing is driving the lowest price rounds of golf. And I'm going to beat this a horse a little bit, Don, but I'm getting emails from our friends in Orlando, or now they're up in Connecticut, on these daily emails from Golf Now of just pushing the hot deals. Book your lowest tee time today when the demand is higher than ever. Why would anybody jump on the bandwagon right now and use their marketing power to promote the lowest priced rounds of golf? Why do you think that this could be a dinosaur, with the increase in demand, or do you feel like course owners still feel tethered to the idea that I have to offer discounts like this, I have to participate?
Well, I mean, there's always going to be some tough tee times to sell, but right now there doesn't seem to be very many. I'm with you. I think anybody who's dealing with any type of tee time aggregator, tee time provider, whoever it might be, you should be renegotiating your contract just to make sure that it's, you're getting the return on investment that you're looking for. What are you giving them? What is the price they're paying to the general public? Because at the end of the day, right now, it is displacing revenue. There is no doubt in my mind that if you're giving away barter right now, it's displacing a tee time you could have sold on your own and maybe even sold it at a lower price yourself. Nothing wrong with loss leader tee times that bring people in the door, but I would at least like to cash that check instead of somebody else. So I think we're always going to need the funnels, Jay. And are they coupon books? I don't know. I've still have some people at Augusta Ranch that are 85 and older. They're not on the internet yet. I mean, they're still, they still have flip phones, but I think anything that gets people to it, it's just don't draw them in with price anymore. Don't commoditize your product anymore. Please take pictures of people having fun on the golf course together, social distancing. That should be leading all of your promotions and advertising and marketing right now. It can't be price. It shouldn't be price. There's nothing, the value is that they're going to spend time with their families. It's not going to be the price they pay. And so now's the time to change this. We got to change the way in which we think of driving people to a golf course. Doesn't have to be price anymore. It's actually experience. COVID
has really given us the opportunity in so many verticals in America and so many experiences to hit the reset button on things, and this is one of those. We'll have a leading chief marketing officer on in a minute. Maybe we can pick his brain about that, and make golf your thing. Are we going to be pushing discounts through that, initiative? I seriously doubt it, as a national kind of strategy. But I will say, though, I got to say for some of the NGCOA affiliates, and whether it's New England or Charleston, they do sell these golf pass books locally. They limit the number. It's a very limited number, and it's a fundraiser for those organizations to do the advocacy work for golf courses at their state capitals and whatever it might be. So if there was an exception to a golf course participating in a book, you got to look at what's the purpose, what is it, and if it is limited in capacity and a certain number are sold, so there's that high demand because of low inventory, and then the proceeds are going to support golf course owners and their agenda. That's a bit of a different, product in the marketplace. But just any Joe Schmo who's built their business on a coupon book, I think we got to take a second look or a third or fourth look at what's happening right now in our industry and get away from driving participation through the lowest price rounds. That's just, I think my audience knows how I feel about that, so I won't beat that horse too much. But why don't we move on? One last bit of a housekeeping before we bring Matt on. It's just a reminder to the NGCOA members out there, any golf course owner operator, to get in on the employee retention tax credit that is still available for small businesses out there. If you brought in less revenue in 2020 than 2029, you may qualify for significant, could be 5 or even 6 figures in tax credit for your business. Now, a lot of golf courses did better in 2020 than they did in 2019, but if you are if you're on the bell curve or the side of the bell curve that didn't do so well compared to 2019, make sure you contact the NGCOA office, reach out to our team so we can help you. We've got a great partner in a company called Rockerbox to help you apply for your ERTC, which goes right to your bottom line, folks. And that's what it's about as a small business owner. It's about the bottom line. So let us help you with that. All right, without further ado, we are thrilled to bring to the show Matt Corey, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of the PGA Tour. He joined the organization in 2019. Prior to the tour, Corey spent 6 years as Chief Marketing Officer for the PGA Tour Superstore, which is its own fast-growing story. They went from 16 stores to 40 stores across the United States. He helped them build their e-commerce business. So he's been in marketing, digital and otherwise, for 25 years. He earned an MBA from Georgia Tech, which is great. I grew up near Atlanta, so I'd love to maybe swap stories about Atlanta, and holds a bachelor's degree in public relations from the University of Florida. And he's down there in Ponte Vedra with his family. He's an avid golfer and tennis player. I think we've talked about that, Matt. We got to get on the court, not only the golf court, but the tennis court to play some tennis. So it's great to see you, Matt. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
You got you. So, before we dive into make golf your thing, walk me through some of the responsibilities you have as Chief Marketing Officer of the PGA Tour. I mean, that is a dynamic, ever-changing side of, that elite side of the game, the marketing. I mean, are you able to stay ahead of it, because you guys give a lot of authority to the players to go out there and be their own marketing engine. So how on earth do you, as Chief Marketing Officer, kind of, what are you doing to really maximize your position there?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. I mean, it's been an interesting first 18 months. So I show up 4 months before the world shuts down and we have to completely reinvent marketing at the tour. So I don't know that I'd change it. It's, you kind of get closer together as a team and with your peers when you go through a hard time. Right. But it's been interesting. And I'd say that our responsibility from a marketing perspective is to inspire as many people as possible to tune in and enjoy not just the PGA Tour, but to enjoy golf, right? And how do we continue to invest in things like building out more content about our players? As guys graduate from the Korn Ferry Tour and they make it onto the PGA Tour, are we building assets that talk about them and how they grew up and how they learned golf? And are we showing their personality so that when we get to the broadcasts and we get to a point where you see some young kid up on the leaderboard, that the fans can learn more about them, right? And that's what this is all about. And I think that you'll see the tour continue to invest more and more in player content and marketing our athletes and helping our athletes do things that we may not have done before. I always give the example. So it's funny, like if to a casual non-golf fan, right? Just a casual fan, they tune in and they watch Henrik Stenson play golf. He looks like he's angry at every single swing. He's concentrating so hard. he's one of the nicest and coolest and funniest guys, that plays golf. And he's like, he'll do all kinds of self-deprecating things. He's hysterical. But unless you build up the content about a guy like that, and the European Tour has done that really well, how do you help your fans get to know these players more, right? The more they know about the players, the more they're going to tune in and cheer them on. And so it's things like that are going to be really important going forward. And I think that's my responsibility, is to help us figure out how we can inspire more people to enjoy golf, not just the PGA Tour.
I know we're going to talk about a particular initiative in a minute, but I'm really curious about this. So, as a chief marketing officer at a national company or what have you, a lot of folks are used to controlling the marketing message. We get to devise these plans and implement these plans and push media out through social media and video and all these things. So when you're relying on your players to be, serious ambassadors for themselves and by extension the PGA Tour, do you lose sleep at night sometimes? Thinking that they could, there's someone over here helping and having something really funny on Twitter, but someone over here, could be doing something crazy and off brand or what have you. And so how do you negotiate all of that? How do you give up control?
You don't. You realize you don't have control. And I think the biggest thing there is, the understanding of, hey, you don't own your brand anymore, especially in the advent of the internet and social media. We don't own our brands. Our fans own our brand, right? Our players own our brand. So, you go through all the things that you can to help position your players through platforms where we can develop social content for them that they approve and push out and all that good stuff. And that's fine. But I've learned through my long time as a marketing person, dating myself a little bit here over the last 20 plus years, is you don't own your brand anymore. You can shape messaging that tries to inspire an audience to take an action, but they own your brand. They can talk about your brand more than you can ever spend in advertising dollars and marketing dollars. And so the best marketing in the world allows fans to participate in their brand and to participate in their marketing effort. And you saw a little bit of that when we returned to golf last summer. When we came back, we had a whole campaign around back on the tee, not now on the tee, not next on the tee, but back on the tee. And we let the world announce our players returning. And we had so many videos from celebrities and other athletes to just normal everyday people and kids announcing players on the tee. We turned that into our marketing campaign, and we allowed our fans to participate. And so that's really the best marketing. That's what tends to inspire other people, right? If an audience can see themselves in the marketing and the creative, they may be a little bit more apt to tune in. It doesn't mean we stay away from our stars by any stretch. We leverage the heck out of our stars and their personalities as much as we can, as much as they're willing to do.
Jay, I got to say something. It's being on that green when Phil wins the tournament. Guys are yelling about his calves. They're yelling about him hitting bombs. And none of those were ads the PGA Tour did. That stuff he's done on his own IG and his own Twitter account. But there was a younger crowd out at NGCOA. And I would guarantee you the reason, certainly everybody over the 50 was very excited for Phil Mickelson. But there was a crowd in the 30s that were they've seen his videos and his bombs and his calves. And that's Phil being Phil, but it's also golf showing that it's relevant to every age group.
Excellent. No, that's a great observation. I think I'm dating myself as well, but I saw a lot of us, this age, I say anybody 30 and older really kind of witnessed the loss of control in that brand that you're talking about when the advent of social media and online reviews, the whole online reviews and social media, wave of 2006, 2007, that time period when that was really taking forefront. That's when brands lost control. And you could see companies fighting it at that time because they didn't know how to harness it. And now, what you're saying is, how do you embrace that? How do you let go, be a good business, do the good things, and engage your followers and your customers, and they will do this for you. They will be your ambassadors and your evangelists, if you will. So, it's there's a lesson in there for the smallest of businesses is, you're only going to be able to control this much. And if you let go of control and have a loyal following, boy, that will be exponential. to you. So yeah, that's a good lesson there. But you said that effective marketing allows kind of customers to see themselves in what you're doing. And it's a great segue to talk honestly about make golf your thing, because what we're putting out there in this, and you're the quarterback, I call you the quarterback on this initiative. It is definitely a team initiative. A lot of associations, national groups are working on this, but you're the quarterback. You're I'd say the Tom Brady, but whatever it's team you support, you're the quarterback. What I've noticed about this, because I'm going to want you to walk us through what this is I think this real understanding of people seeing themselves in what you're putting out there, or what we're putting out there, make golf your thing. So, introduce the initiative to our audience a bit, and then we'll talk through it.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. By the way, Don, I love your note about having the pros go out on the driving range and interact and pick up the baskets and interact. You're creating a more inviting environment. And that's at the core, that's what we want to do. We want to invite more people to try golf. It doesn't mean that they're going to book a tee time. It may mean, though, that they want to come out and learn golf on the driving range. And so, as we think about make golf your thing, this is the first week. This is actually week 2 of the next 3 to 4 years of our life, where we are going to try to inspire more people to think about golf. They may start at a driving range or a Top Golf, then they may work their way towards a municipal course, and then a private course, or semi-private club, et cetera, and work their way into golf. But we're going to broaden the definition of what golf is in the creative. I mean, golf can be a little 3-year-old African-American girl chipping with a plastic club in her backyard. If we all had our dream, when parents go to Target or Walmart and they're standing in the toy aisle and they're looking at a bat, a soccer ball, or a little plastic golf club and a golf ball, we want them buying the golf club, right? The little $5, $10 plastic golf club and ball, and get that kid starting swinging the club. And so in order to inspire that audience, we have to sort of break the mold of what golf has always done, which is show really beautiful swings in perfectly manicured fairways. Ball lands 3 feet from the hole. In my case, it hits a tree. But Jay, in your case, it spins back and probably goes in. But not. But so how do we break free from that? And how do we start this effort by using the world's social content of people enjoying golf in a lot of different ways, so that we start to get those non-golfers, really what I call future, everybody's just a future golfer, right? Not a non-golfer, but what we call those sort of non-golfers, how do we get them thinking, hey, maybe golf could be my thing. I think I could try golf. Like, maybe I should try golf. And so that's the journey we're going on right now. And what we need golf course owners to do is to figure out their invitation, so that when people come out to your course, what's your invitation? It may not be a discounted round of golf. It may be the promotion of the events that you're already doing to welcome people, whether it's an afternoon, a Thursday late, 5 o'clock happy hour on the range, or whatever it might be, to continue to put more people in the top of the funnel, right? To continue to create the interest of those people wanting to come back to your club and become members and book tee times, et cetera, and work their way into the sport.
What was this born out of?
Yeah, if I go all the way back, thanks for asking that. Late last year, the commissioners of the PGA Tour, PGA of America, you all, et cetera, really got together. The leaders in golf got together, as you know, Jay, and sort of said, look, we got to do 2 things. One, we got to take advantage of the momentum that golf has right now, right? Golf has momentum. We're growing. It's how do we get more people to think about golf, so that once the vaccine fully rolls out, they don't go back to their normal activities, right? They stay with golf. And how do we also diversify the sport more? And how do we really lean in there? And so they created a series of working groups. Some are focused on working with HBCUs and recruiting. Others are working on grants for local and national youth and adult golf programs. And the marketing group, which was my group, was charged with sort of, hey, grow and diversify our sport, figure out a way to grow interest in golf, and do so with one unified voice, whether it's a golf course owner, a manufacturer, a retailer, how can we create a toolkit with a bunch of assets that everybody can use? And so, Jay, that's what we've done. We've launched makegolfyourthing.org, and everybody on this call can go to that website and click on the little link that says toolkit in the upper navigation, and they go to a page where they can download a toolkit of all kinds of assets that they can co-brand to inspire more people to come visit their course. And it's just the beginning. This is literally week 2 of a long journey where we're going to continue to build out more assets and invite more people in. I'd love to show, if we could, a commercial that hasn't even aired yet. We've got a cut of a spot where we actually got Anthony Anderson to record the voiceover, and I just want the audience here to get a feel for the energy we're trying to create here, and hopefully this will make you smile. But if we've got a clip, I'd love to run it.
There's something about this game. Golf brings us together, no matter where or how you choose to play. From the course to your backyard, or even online with friends. Play your way and let your swagger show. Invite someone you know to play. And make golf your thing.
All right, so I love that energy. That energy is excellent. Right? So good, congratulations, good work. I do have some questions about this because I know we're in the top of the first inning. I know. So a lot of folks maybe watching or who will see this have been operating golf courses for a very long time, and we've seen various iterations of the industry trying to come together to promote golf. And I will say, that we've had some conversations that the earliest iteration I remember of this was we were in a different place in golf. A lot of the industry, we had the wind at our back for sure, back in the late 90s. But the golf course owners were feeling the coming supply and demand crisis. And so born out of fear of a supply and demand crisis was get linked, play golf. And we had some wonderful advertisements to grassroots stuff to promote the game of golf. Then things eventually morphed into different national programs, and COVID has kind of presented this opportunity, like I said earlier, to reset, hit the reset button. And I will say, a lot of these organizations, the Tour, the PGA, and USGA and others are in a very different place right now than we were in 1999 about a lot of these things. So it's really great to hear, an executive of the PGA Tour, particularly talking about, wow, we got to present golf in a different way, and so that's very gratifying to hear. And I love that we're leveraging the surge in interest instead of responding to kind of a fear of, oh my gosh, the numbers are declining. What do we do here? And try to come out with some marketing. So that's a good place. There's a place of strength, obviously, to create, and we're all in this together and feeling good about it. But let me ask you a couple questions. What, I think some PSAs ran during the PGA Championship of Make Golf Your Thing, right? And we have a history of running PSAs to the golf audience, right? In which what is the plan to market to future golfers that aren't watching the PGA Championship or what have you? What's the plan?
Yeah, two key buckets there. So you mentioned okay, we've got a toolkit and we've got all kinds of assets for people to use. What we want golf course owners to do is to leverage these assets and encourage their database to invite a friend, right? Hey, we know golf is your thing. Bring a friend out. Bring in the next year, bring one friend out. Imagine if every golfer in the country brought one friend out to play golf sometime in the next year or two. You talk about full tee sheets now, forget about it in the future, right? It'd be an absolute blast. And hopefully we start to turn more of those people into golfers. We know the power of a friend inviting you to do something versus somebody getting off their couch and doing it alone, right? So that's really an important aspect of this. And all the creative in the toolkit is customizable. Anybody can use it in any way that they want. It's meant to be like open source code where it's just free to use for anybody. So the second part of your question, though, how do we attract those future golfers? We're doing that in a variety of ways. So we've raised money across the golf industry with the PGA Tour kicking in cash, PGA of America, manufacturers, et cetera, funding our ability to go out and target African Americans and Hispanics and diverse audiences, et cetera, to invite them in to play golf. we're even down to being able to do some highly targeted efforts where we can find those diverse audiences within 10 minutes or 15 minutes of a municipal or public golf course, et cetera, a semi-private golf course, to encourage them to come on out, right, and try it. So we're going to do a lot of programmatic work, digital and social advertising. We're going to leverage our partnerships with NBC and CBS and ESPN, and you saw some of that with the PGA of America. So yes, we're going to leverage all the brands in golf and our golf course owners to encourage golfers to invite a friend. But then we're going to go out and spend some paid dollars as well, some paid advertising dollars, to encourage folks to try golf. So we're going to get started this year with a few dollars that we've raised. We'll build more as we get into next year. And you'll see some other stuff too. So I don't know how many people know the actor Josh Duhamel. He's a pretty well-known actor in Hollywood. He did a fun little video on his own with like 3 TikTok stars. Don't ask me their names because I'm too old. But they have like 3 million followers. And he posted this video a week ago with the Make Golf Your Thing hat on, and it exploded. It's had like over 3 million views. So fun stuff like that too, to reach a different younger audience and more diverse audience, is also going to be part of the mix.
You know, one thing I like about the invitation concept, one is it's, you know, we're kind of going along with how golf already markets itself. It's an invitation thing. Hey, you ask a buddy to come out, try this. There's a very invitation driven, right? And so it's not fighting that. It's not trying something different. It's let's use that culture a little bit. But at the, you know, where this intersects kind of diversity and inclusion, the invitation is so important, because, you know, what we've learned and what I've learned over the years is, you know, that a business can think that it is all in on diversity and inclusion because it may say, I'm open to anybody. My doors are open to anyone. Come on in. I don't care what color you are or whatever it is or who you love. Come to my business. I'm welcoming. Very different having a welcome mat from going out and inviting and saying, you know, I want you here. So I'm really encouraged by that theme. And in this viral social media world, it's so much easier for people to pass along and invite people than it was, you know, 20, 30 years ago. I do have a question though. When you look at that video and you see, you know, girls in crop tops, you know, doing this, it's very casual, high energy. Where, you know, this intersects the real world right now in many places is, you know, some of the dress codes that you saw on that would not even be welcome at some public golf courses, you know. And so how do we negotiate this change? You know, we're going to push this image of make golf your thing, whatever that may be. Even coming to the driving range, you might have to have a collared shirt. But I saw this make golf your thing. Look how cool and young this looked. But I just got kicked off or told to go home or go buy, you know, a shirt in the pro shop because I'm not wearing a collared shirt. Even at public courses, private clubs, different ball of wax. But so Matt, how do we negotiate and reconcile that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, first of all, marketing is supposed to, the best marketing pushes the edge, right? It sort of pushes the boundaries to get people to think about things a little bit differently. And that's what we're trying to do with this. We're not suggesting, you know, that you can roll out to golf courses in any way that you want. But when we drive people to makegolfyourthing.org, they can learn about the answers to all those questions. What if I don't have clubs? What do? I don't know what to wear. Golf seems intimidating to me. What the hell's a backdrop? Like, I don't know what that is. Like, teach me a few things. That there's that content that's been out in the world, and we're going to certainly showcase that. But we're going to try to demystify this a little bit. And the website's going to start. We've got some fun videos there already. It's just going to keep getting better and better and better as we go along. And hopefully what we do with this website is we start featuring some incredible success stories from golf course owners all over the country. Look what this club is doing. Look what that club is doing. Look what this course is doing. And we start showcasing those stories, and those stories can pop up. Eventually, we want this website to have a directory where you type in your zip code and you find all the local golf courses that have some really amazing different programs, and it becomes a very, very robust website. Right now, it's just sort of a directory. It's a starting point, but it's going to get better and better. That's how we'll address that, right? And we specifically will call things out. Like in the video, you'll see about what to wear. We say, hey, call your local golf course and just ask. So we're trying to make it a little less intimidating, but also let people know that there's some safe, no-brainer things on what to wear. versus like don't show up in a tank top and flip flops necessarily to your local country club, but that's a fine line. We want to encourage people to think about golf in a different way, in a sort of a non-traditional, non-stuffy way, but also give them the tools they need so that they aren't disappointed when they go.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing. You can't, because we can't control a lot of this, but we can try to push. And I like pushing the envelope. But what I like about the theme or the feel of it is that it feels like we want everyone. We want anyone and everyone to, make golf your thing. And what we fail to do as an industry, I think, is promote the idea that as an industry, we have something for everyone. As you mentioned early on the onset, it's like, oh no, it's that high-end, private club or the resort courses that get because they're the most beautiful images. So we push these beautiful images for decades as, what golf could be, is this aspirational fact. But at the end of the day, I like to say we need to compare ourselves to the restaurant industry. If someone, if an alien came down and was dropped in America and they asked, hey, what is it like to eat at a restaurant? What are you going to say? You're going to say, well, it depends on what you want. Do you want the greasy spoon? Do you want fast food? Do you want the high-end experience with the white glove and all of these things? What do you want? We've got something for everyone. Golf is the same way, but that's not what the future golfers think, right? And so we have to project that same egalitarian image of our industry as we are trying to present or attract that egalitarian kind of crowd to our game.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. And so a couple things there. Like number one, I think everybody in the last year and a half has realized that, being outside is pretty cool. Being with friends is amazing. I used to take those things for granted. And golf doesn't have to be a sport for everybody. Golf can be an activity where you just go enjoy yourself. Maybe you keep score, maybe you don't. You don't have to try to lower your handicap or even have a handicap to go enjoy the sport, right? And earlier you mentioned the power of the invitation. Here's the key for every golf course owner on the planet. This effort does not dictate how you decide you invite people to your course. It allows you to make that decision. If you want to offer some discounted rounds, fine. If you want to do a happy hour once a month where you invite people out and there's food and drink and the PGA pros teaching people how to play golf, great. If you want to just promote the programs that you already have and make people aware of those so they say, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know this golf course has this great summer camp for kids. Great, let's do that too. Do anything you want as a golf course owner, but participate and just be ready. Be ready so that when people come to you, you've got a solution for them and your arms are wide open.
So Don, as a golf course owner yourself, with you're a smart marketer, you've been around the block on what effective marketing is. How could you see leveraging this initiative?
No, thanks. I thought you were never going to ask the golf course owner or PJ member a question, Jay. I was like, geez, I've been to a lot of these webinars.
Well, I just got all your text saying, ask me a question. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm never going to do that. I'm waiting for you to invite me. Right. This is what, obviously the PGA is excited about this. We have 28,000 members. We're at the golf shops across the nation. I mean, if there's somebody going to activate the scale of this, it's going to be the 28,000 PGA members and obviously the LPGA too. I'm glad that all the groups, all of our endemic partners, all the associations are involved in this. To me, everybody who's listening, this is a dream come true. I've always wanted to not preach to the choir. I know we continue to do that, but this won't do that. We are going to leverage the marketing assets of the PGA of America and the PGA Tour to get in front of the non-golfers. We have media relationships, and that will get us in front of other people. For the first time, Get Golf Ready. I like Get Golf Ready, but it was $99. And even at Augusta Ranch, where I'm a par 61, I didn't want to charge $99. I'm in a different market. So all we're saying is download the toolkit and see what's going on. We're about to kick off some commercials, a marketing program, a strategy that's going to drive people to your golf course. And when they see this logo and they hear this song and they go, what they're going to come to your golf course. And are you going to understand what they're saying? Well, I want to make golf my thing. If you don't download the toolkit, you're not going to know. So what I'm saying is you create all the programs. It's just like we've been saying, you create all the programs, you create the pricing. But if you don't involve yourself in this huge marketing campaign that's going to happen, it's marketing money that I don't have at Augusta Ranch. That's for Dartshire. And just make sure that when that guest knocks on the door, or they come in and go, hey, I want to make golf my thing, you better have some programs ready. You should have transitional programs at your facility. If somebody comes the first time, what is it? Maybe it's just a cocktail and some putting. And maybe the next one is you're on the range. Maybe the next one you're just on the golf course, driving around and showing them some stuff, and maybe you play a couple of little short holes. But at the end of the day, for those of you out there who've been complaining about the national associations and they've done nothing to help grow the game, this is 6 working groups all focused on just growing the game of golf. And this group that we're specifically focusing on marketing is creating a campaign that's going to drive people to the golf course. You either want to have a catcher's mitt or you can just have a hand up and don't let them in. But I would hope you'd get 2 catcher's mitts and just receive these golfers, because it's going to work. There's no doubt in my mind.
There it is, the baseball metaphor I was waiting for. So it's great that we've got an owner, Allison George, a former NGCOA board member, and owner of Toad Valley out there in Iowa, on your committee, Matt, working hard with you. So we've got an owner at the table. And one of the nice things about this is, even though you got all these associations working hard on this stuff, is that you mentioned it's open source in nature. Come on, universe, take the code. We're giving you the code, but it's also agnostic. It doesn't matter what organization you're a member of, pay dues to, whatever. This is about, the 4 letters GOLF. It's not about any other letters, and that's a very important, and that's a new kind of development in the collaboration of our organizations. We recognize we all have assets we bring to the table, and they're assets and brands that are going to work for this. But at the end of the day, participation doesn't matter. We want everybody participating. So I really applaud you guys, in the approach that you're taking, and the inclusion, aspect of this, including all organizations. And so congratulations. But, course owners and operators watching, make sure you go to makegolfyourthing.org and let's get signed up. Matt, I really appreciate you joining the show today. Great message. This is, like I said, the top of the first inning. We got a lot of work to do. This will be forever. There's no finish line here, folks. There is no finish line. But I feel like this gives us a real turbo boost in what we're doing. So congratulations, and thanks for doing that.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. I would just say to everybody, we want criticism. We want feedback. We'll get better if we know how to make this better for all of you. So we welcome that feedback. We need it. We'll take 1 step forward, 1 sideways, then 2 more forward, hopefully, but we'll get better together. And this is all of our second jobs, right? Is to grow the game for the next generation. And it's a passion project, and it's worth it.
Yeah. No, you know what? Great. Thanks again, Matt. Great message. Taylor, we're going to close out with an amazing image of our Don Ray. There he is. Take a look at that. Wow. Don, please print that out. I want to put that on my refrigerator. Sign it, send it to me. I'm going to put that on my refrigerator. So proud of you. Great work to the PGA of America for their championship last week. Couldn't have asked for a better ending. So golf is on a high wave right now. And so let's bring it to the next level. We have the opportunity to, so let's do it. But guys, thanks for being on the show, and we'll see everybody next month in June for Golf Business Live. Take care, everyone.
Have a good one.